Everything has been posted, and if we run into any help, I've got her phone number, but she was concerned. All right,
Okay.
calling the meeting of the Bylaw Charter Review Committee to order, December 19th, 5 PM, small meeting room. We have a full committee, so we have a quorum. So we are called to order. Public comment? I don't see any public for a comment. Review and approval of the minutes, November 28th. I think they were mailed out to you.
I believe one possible correction here.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Under public comment, Mr. Otten is working on a petition. I think you wanted to say
Petition.
petitions.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
I have a.
Yeah, petition,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
petition.
yeah.
Move to approve the minutes with that correction.
All right. Second?
Second, yes.
All right, thank you, Noreen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. And I did cancel the meeting that was posted for 12/4,
Yes.
so here we are.
Did you learn to do it yourself? Let them work.
Okay. I was not amused.
No. You should
Okay.
have heard her on the other end of the
It's
phone.
always cold. That's why I wore a very heavy sweater tonight.
Okay.
I didn't have a problem with my hearing like I usually do.
I didn't say anything. All right, how about if we take one thing out of order? The draft report for the town due January 5th. I had mailed that out. It's the report of the Harwich Bylaw Charter Review Committee. And it's pretty straightforward, pretty cut and dried.
I'll just say I thought it was really great.
Second.
More written.
Did we make the correction that,
That was on the big report.
okay, I thought that was this one, that the conversation concerning the formation of the full charter commission. I'm just a little
Oh, yes.
concerned that, and I've forgotten
Yes, I did. There has been conversation in the community
Ah.
concerning the formation of a full charter commission. And then I added dot, 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 dot. The last sentence I added, the committee has not discussed this nor taken any action on this issue. That was a good, Sandy pointed that out.
Yep.
We should say, in the community.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just concerned that it would look
No.
like we were deliberating on it.
No, and that was a really
Yeah.
good point.
That would not be good. Okay.
It's just pointing out that the community is talking about this.
Will you send us out an updated?
So I can fill in my et cetera.
And I have your name spelled right here for some reason.
I know, it comes many
You might
different
want
ways.
to take the comma
I got that one right here too, take the comma out.
out of my name at the bottom.
Well, if you want to get that crazy, you have an extra line between the second last and the last paragraph if you want to
Lord,
get.
we are not wordsmithing.
Oh, I think
There's a space between committee and January, too.
Mother of God, you're gonna
I heard
all
comma.
make me crazy.
Sandy instigated it.
I did, I'm sorry. So do you want a motion to adopt this report, subject to
And-
the changes just discussed?
And
So
send it on to town
and send it on to
administration.
the town, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay. The draft report to our esteemed select board.
Steve?
Esteemed.
Oh, that's Steve.
Anita had made a comment under housekeeping overall changes, which I can't spell changes. Under number 3, in all relevant places in the document, change the order to charter, bylaws, and general laws. It's inconsistent. Anita has made the point that she recalls conversations that the lawyer had a comment that it had to be general laws, charter, bylaws.
It's something we should really check out, because if
Right.
that was the intention, I believe, when we were doing the charter to begin with, the 2006, 2009, whatever it was.
Right.
And it's Mass General Law first, then the charter, then, that's just the way they,
Well, it may
That-
be, but that's incorrect.
okay, but that's the way that,
Well,
okay,
As we know, the lawyers don't always get it right.
true, but what was, I should have, anyway,
It's been that way for a very long time, but the fact of the matter is, the pecking order from where we sit when we're doing things is we start with the charter, we go to the bylaws, we go to the general. So, I don't think it's a major point, but I think this is
No.
misleading, the way it is.
Meaning to say charter, bylaw, general law?
Yeah,
Isn't that what we want?
yeah, but
Mhm.
to leave it is misleading.
To leave it.
How
To
would
leave
it,
to leave it as it appears
to leave it as it appears.
in the
You mean-
charter.
Oh,
To change
without
the
changing it
Right,
to
right.
number 3?
Right,
So
Okay.
number 3 is okay, we don't want to make any changes to that.
no.
I would note too that any change in that also requires a charter change.
A number 3. A number.
To change the order?
Yeah. Any kind of change we
Any
make in
edits,
the
yeah.
language of the
Mhm.
charter is going to require going through the
A
usual.
charter change,
Correct.
yes. Housekeeping overall changes needed to both charter and bylaws. Yeah, there's a,
That's all. Just,
Mhm.
okay, because we also have the references to chair and vice chair. That's also a charter change, to say change it all.
I'm not wordsmithing.
That's
But
okay.
the reading of this annual town meeting, the term
Where?
in number 1 under housekeeping.
Yep.
The term select board and select board member should be changed, but isn't it really the term board of selectmen and selectmen should be changed? You know, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, the term
should be changed.
Board of Selectmen and
Selectmen,
selectmen
and that's what needs to
should be changed in all places in both documents. Yep, you're right.
Okay,
Two. Got it?
all right. Oof. There's that one.
Under topics for future discussion and consideration, do you think we ought to add the town clerk elected or appointed? Because that's a kind of a big deal topic. Regardless of what anybody thinks.
Right, it's just something that, sure.
On item 3 and item.
Under topics?
Yes, item 3 and item 4.
Yeah,
I would eliminate the word usually in front of charter.
got it.
What word?
Usually.
Yeah.
No,
Is-
usually charter commission purview.
Okay.
Should just say charter commission purview.
Yeah, it's not usually, it just is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I would add number 6, town clerk elected or appointed, and number 7 becomes remaining charter sections and associated bylaws.
I would also like to just review the last line of section 5,
Yep,
because to say this needs discussion with the town administrator as the information is quite old.
What, say?
the section itself is old.
Oh, this is that.
That was the
provision
one, that
ones.
was the one that was,
I would just say may need to be updated.
okay. This needs discussion. Okay, this needs updating.
Or just say may need to be updated, or should be updated, whichever.
This section needs updating.
That would be enough.
And does not appear to reflect current situation.
That's fine.
And the town clerk elected or appointed, that would also be a charter commission, wouldn't it? Would it or
No.
not? No, that would be, okay.
Charter Commission can do that we can't do other ways is the administrative, the selectmen, the form of government, town meeting,
Okay.
and administration, whatever.
But who's elected and who's appointed? That's just a
That's
charter
something we can
change.
do.
Okay. Now, we'd already talked about the scope and construction of town power, that we had wanted to add that section, Sandy's language.
Is that 132? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had already talked about the warrants having to be mailed to the household.
I have one comment on
Yeah.
231.
231.
231.
Yeah.
Okay. And just so you ladies will know, you've won me over on the fall town meeting after much thinking, and on easing up on some of the financial insertions I was trying to make to some degree. So I just had to do a little pondering, but you're right. And I just wanted to say, you won me over because I reflected on the fact that you all lived through that and it worked well. So
Well,
I'm valuing your opinion, so. But at any rate, on 231, the bottom line, a second meeting shall be held each fall to cover regulatory and bylaw matters. I really thought that that should say, and any others as needed. You wouldn't want to have something important and not be able to put it in.
I think it needs to be fleshed out a lot more. This
Okay.
is too simple.
This is this
And
is
I
the
just-
language that I got from Deb. So how would you flesh that out?
Well, I would get back to more along the language of the original that set it out, because it was a little bit more specific, if you all want to take a look.
Sure.
I made copies for everybody.
We're still on 231?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's this one.
Anybody need these?
Yeah, why don't you,
Because I think it better.
Anybody else?
Better states, what's intended. This almost is, in a way, it's almost too restrictive to have less language in it.
Okay.
And I look back at the original language, and it worked really well. It was very clear about the fact that it would meet the first week in May to consider and adopt a budget and capital budget. But it goes on to, basically say that there can be other things in either meeting.
Okay,
And
so
how it happens.
So we would want to say here, the section has the annual election of Chapter 818, the annual town meeting for, the underlined is the change, transactions and other town meetings, business shall be held the first week in
I
May.
would just lift this,
So go back to
just lift this.
231. The
Yep.
town meeting should to consider and adopt an annual operating and capital budget, and to act on financial and other matters. Meeting shall be continued on the days until all articles in the warrant shall have been acted on.
That's very simple and straightforward.
Town meeting
Yeah.
shall also meet regularly in the
Huh?
first week in October to consider and act on matters of planning, zoning, and all other
Matters of a bylaw
Yeah.
nature, and to act upon other businesses, including matters involving appropriation of town funds, if they properly come before the meeting. Meeting shall be
This was
continued
the
on other
86,
days
right?
until all articles in the warrant have been acted upon. So, we're good with that.
I'm not good with October. I mean, do we have to say first week in October? So many, I was so happy with fall when I finally got there, that, I mean, there are so many financial things that might not be ready by, that would mean the warrant would be being printed like around September 5th. That's, I mean, I made my way to fall. I didn't think I had to make my way to October.
By November, there are a lot of people who are already heading down
All right.
to Florida.
That's
That's kind of the timing issue here.
But same thing for, you know, you might want to spend some money, you might need free cash, you know, but I don't want to beat it to death, I'm
The
just
other
saying.
thing too is November is butting right up against the start of the spring budget season too.
Well, then what's wrong with saying fall that we cover? You could have it in October or November, or, you know, I made my way to fall for you guys.
But usually it's the first week, we remembered it was always the first week in October, which is, I mean, it's.
In the last 2 years, we had October 18th, and the year before that was something in the teens.
Right,
Well,
but what
could we
I'm,
say during the month of October?
well, I kind of like the first week of
I
October, because it's
agree.
right out, I mean, September could be, you know, things going on in September, whether it's state primaries or whatever, and then you want to give,
Right.
you know, the town clerk
Right.
some time to get ready for
And
the
November,
first week in October.
That's great.
November's our election month?
Yes,
November's
yeah,
also
it
an
could be,
election
yeah,
month.
Great
yeah.
for the town clerk. What about the finance director? You may want your free cash ready. I mean, for her to have that ready.
Well, it does say that it's basically for zoning. I mean, granted, if some articles would come up that you would need to have, I'm sure they'd work
Throw it
around
in,
that.
yeah.
They'd work
could throw
around
it
it.
in.
To not have too much in the way of financial
Right.
stuff in October.
Right.
And you won't have any that require an appropriation
That's
unless
all
the
right.
selectmen and the finance committee agree to it,
Right.
or it's a citizen's
Yeah, but they
petition.
do all the time. You know, usually that
Oh,
would.
no, they've been
well-
known
Oh,
to,
we're not calling this a special meeting, though.
it's a
No.
regular
It's
fall
a
meeting.
regular fall
Regular,
meeting, so
yeah.
it doesn't need both of them to agree to spend
Well,
money.
this language does go on to specify
Yeah, it's a
that.
special
Right.
anyway, no matter what you call it.
2233.
All right,
Mhm.
so,
But that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna beat it to death. That's fine.
I can see
I
your-
just feel that you're putting extra constraints on it that aren't needed. You know, the old language was always referred to as broad for good reasons, and, you know, now I feel that you're,
so, under section 231, we would want to put in the original language from 231,
Right.
the original language from 232,
And I would like to include the original language from 233.
where's 2, 3?
Comes right after 232.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so add 2, 3, 3, the old language.
Point being that it needs to really be something fairly urgent in the fall.
Now, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3,
I think are already
5.
in there.
they're in there somewhere, but they're not in the, I don't believe they're in this section.
No, they are somewhere else.
Yes, they're somewhere else, so
Yeah.
we wouldn't be
So we wouldn't need
repeating
to- No, we wouldn't need to do that.
2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 5, but we would need 2, 3, 6.
Yes,
Sure.
I
And
agree.
2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
because 4 and 5 are elsewhere within the charter.
that works. Yes,
Okay.
they're somewhere else in the charter.
All right, and put this right here. You okay with that, Deb?
Yeah,
All right.
so we're including 1, 2, and 3,
Yep,
eliminating 4 and 5,
yes.
4 and
And
5,
then 2,
and
3,
then add
6
6, yep,
becomes 4.
2, 3, yep,
Okay, cool.
okay, got it. Do you have a copy?
yes.
All right, we had section 3, chapter 3, excuse
There's
me.
a line above it.
Yeah, 2.8, I think we'd already discussed that. 2.8.1, the change was, any additions to part-time or full-time staff must be included in a separate article in the warrant.
Okay, can I say something?
You sure can.
Thank you. I just want to say for the record that I just can't get here. I certainly support the document as a whole. I think Linda did a fabulous job on it, and I'm going to vote to support it. But in terms of this issue, I support putting a chart in the article that includes the operating budget To me, it keeps the numbers cleaner, and as long as that chart refers to the line, it's very easy to amend. Last year, we had 8 new positions that were pointed out to people, and not one single person asked a question. So I'm just saying that's my position, that I support the chart method, not a separate article. I prefer the information to be
And-
clarified within usually Article 4 or the article that includes the operating budget.
Okay, and,
So.
and we have heard that
Yeah.
multiple times,
Yep.
so we understand for the
Okay.
record, you're not happy with this. What
No.
about the rest of us?
I'm happy with this.
I got,
I am, I'm happy with it.
Happy.
Yeah.
okay, so, and keep in mind that if this committee votes for this, then that's what we have to speak to.
Yeah,
So on town meeting floor, you can't get up and have an opposing opinion.
that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, just
Well, I
making
wouldn't
sure we
say
know
you
that.
can't,
I'm not gonna
because
fight-
Well, you
absolutely-
shouldn't.
You can take a minority position if you wish to,
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
But
it's not
you
a question
really,
of
it
can.
really shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
But I wouldn't speak for it either. I would not
Yep.
speak against
Right.
my
So
committee
we'll
members.
assign that to her to speak for.
Pardon
We'll
me?
assign that for you to speak.
Oh,
to.
great, yeah,
I'm gonna speak for this, but I don't really mean it.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, 311, I have a comment. It's not written there.
we don't have 311
I know,
here.
but I did.
She's already on to the next,
I don't know where she is.
No, I'm at chapter 3, but
chapter 3.
there was a comment made about 311 when we were discussing it, and then it did not,
Didn't make the list.
I don't think we, yeah.
What was
hang on, just give me a
311?
minute, please. So I had mentioned a line that I got from some of my sources, and at the time, you folks said you liked it. But then it didn't make it in here. And,
311, okay. That's Board of Selectmen?
right, a board of
5
selectmen of 5 members, including 3
Shall be
over.
elected at large for 3 overlapping terms, 1 select member.
No, not the one select board member, we took that out. At any rate,
Right.
my language
Can
that
I find 3, let me just find
Yeah,
wherever,
okay.
chapter 2, chapter 3, 311.
Right.
Okay,
And the language that I just proposed was that in addition to what's in 311, I suggested it say, the select board members serve as the town's chief executive body. They have overall responsibility for the general operations of town government.
Yep.
It was a line I found in a Department of Revenue line, and people seemed to like it at the time, and then it didn't make the cut. So if you don't want to put it in, you don't have to, but to me, it rounded out,
Doesn't this get covered in the next section, though?
what section?
Isn't it
Section 2,
that says, except as
312.
otherwise provided by this charter, all executive powers of the town shall be vested in the Board of
Okay.
Selectmen.
it's in there.
I agree.
I think that's why we didn't
All right.
include it, because
Yeah.
it was
Right,
there
it was
already.
Okay.
Repeated, yep.
Okay.
Um,
And then I would say, just for you, Linda, on 324 did not exist.
Oh, new section.
Right.
Right.
So when you say
New-
current, I know it's, won't be in the
Oh,
other.
wait a minute. We had to get it from somewhere. Yes, it does
No,
exist.
it doesn't.
Then what number was it?
It wasn't.
324, that related to the condition of the town.
I think this was new.
It is.
I put new.
Yeah.
I put it
Yes,
in.
it
I
is.
put new.
Ah, all right. So, new section. So that just current goes, here's the new section.
Right,
324.
That's
just to
right.
avoid confusion.
Yep,
So we're
yep,
not really changing the first paragraph there, we're just adding the
right, we're
second.
just adding the
Right.
second.
Four.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
that's it.
This got, within all the drafts, all the stuff, trying to figure out what to pull from here and there, got
You
confusing.
did right.
Well, you did great. so-
It really
Yes.
is.
All right, let's make sure 353, yes, that does exist.
Mhm.
Okay. This was the, section 353 was the one about majority of the board, and you've
Yep.
got to copy the universe.
Right.
And we changed it to the chair can have the authority just to do it.
Yep.
The town treasurer shall be notified of the chair, by the chair of this designation. That's what we proposed.
Yep.
Okay. We got into the town administrator.
Looks good to me.
We had 432E, keep the select board informed, and we added and submit regular reports to the board, provide detailed quarterly financial reports, including but not limited to receipts and disbursements to the board.
Yep. And also, you pointed out, Linda, that, my note says water, wastewater. Now I'm trying to read this real quick to see why I put that for a note. Oh, yeah, it just says water department, as long as, I'm not suggesting we clear up the whole document, but as long as we do it. So if you could make that water, wastewater
What was that? I thought that had that.
in I.
432I.
It's right here.
I just need to make sure I got the right. 4. Four, three, two, I. 432I, which is water and wastewater. Yep, okay, got it.
We're officially water/wastewater.
Water, so change it to water/wastewater.
Yeah, that's what we got most of the time. You'll see it
Yep, yep,
many ways, but we've been trying to,
but that's what you've been trying, okay.
yeah. It's less confusing, the and.
Proposed eliminating the reference to the harbor master.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed like that was not necessary. We had section 452, creation of a full-time compensated position, blah, blah, blah. And we said, new or additional compensated positions shall not become effective until the position has been funded by a vote of town meeting as specified in chapter 2, section 8.1, which is the one that said they all have to be in a separate article.
And I will spare you my speech.
Please do.
Thank you.
We heard it. I get it.
Okay.
Changes that we had under the bylaws.
Before 472, when we went through it, we had said, and it's not a huge point to me, but we had said that we wanted that review to be available for public review at one
Well,
point.
they have to do it, I think I remember the conversation. They have to do it in public, and it's part of it's part of the agenda, and it's also, the information is part of the packet.
That's fine, was just going through my
Yep,
notes
yep.
methodically. Okay,
And done in 18 months.
that's right.
Moving on.
On the bylaws, the only thing I would suggest possibly is, the last two lines of proposed section.
Is that
I can't hear a
271.3?
word she's saying.
271.3.
Yep, yep.
Do you want to change may to shall?
Why, it doesn't.
Let's see, non-shorter.
Oh, right. Shall can be may and may can be shall.
Yeah, or sort of, or
Kind of,
sometimes.
yeah.
Or in some other language.
Yes. right.
Okay. Shall.
Proposed says shall, so we're not changing that.
Which one are you in?
Non-voters shall be allowed
Changing,
to.
just here in the range.
Where it says moderator
Moderator may
shall.
allow a non-resident, shall allow
Oh,
a
okay.
non-resident
Gotcha.
department head. I mean, there shouldn't be any question about a department head
I mean,
being
I
allowed to
mean-
speak on any particular issue that they're involved in.
Again, shall doesn't seem to mean shall, but okay.
I'm still waiting to see the opinion on that.
I would like to see the opinion on that too, as to where we got that from. All right, we had 27116. This is the one where we had an article in 2019 that all of the individual votes were supposed to be posted in the warrant, printed in the warrant. And the bylaw has not been changed in 4 years. And that's pretty bad, because then people read the charter or the bylaws and they say, oh, I just have to ask for it. No. This needs to be corrected.
Okay.
And that's kind of as far as we got,
It's a lot
which is
of,
not bad.
Well,
No,
except
that's
for
pretty
that,
good, yeah.
except for my messy bylaw, 7-2.
Yes, I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's a lot of work involved.
There is. I mean, there's a ton of work involved in all this. So are we, with those changes, what I'll do is I'll stick these little nits and lice in here and ship it out to everybody, and if it's okay, then we can submit it. And somebody will be getting something done.
Okay. Do we want to do an e-vote or something like that? Do you need,
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll say, here's the final, and,
Well, I'm not sure we
Okay.
can do an e-vote.
yeah, we can't do that, because that's,
okay, yeah.
I think we just need to approve it. And if
By-
something sets anybody's hair on fire, they can talk directly.
Yea or
Can
nay?
we approve it?
So
just
approve it
pending?
here
Yeah,
tonight.
approve it here tonight.
Okay,
because we
yes.
can't vote
And
by.
authorize our chair
We
to
can
make a correction if
correction.
it's needed. How's that?
Mm-hmm,
I don't think e-votes
all right, okay.
are
No,
allowed.
they are not. To committee, and then we can, then there's anything, and then it can go to the select board. Great. I heard a motion.
Wait, so are you doing this separate?
I can do that separate, we can add to it. Okay.
So moved.
Second?
Any other comments? We might have something to add to it, and we will discuss that further. Okay? We all good? All those in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. I said, Noreen, it's part of the financial stuff. But there had been some comments on what do we want in the warrant itself. It's in the bylaws, section 7.2 says the selectmen shall report to the annual town meeting financial conditions of the town at the close of fiscal year. Shall report shall state, oh look, there's that shall word again. When expenditures have been made and what balance of appropriations, if any, remain unexpended and contain the warrant for the next annual town meeting. We have had some conversation as to what we would like to propose be in the warrant. And I'm not sure that's a charter change per se, as it is a discussion with the select board. And if it has to be a charter change, we can push that. But what do we want to see in the warrant at this point?
Well, I mean, first of all, in the paragraph that says proposed new wording, I eliminated that bit about balance of appropriations, as you suggested, Linda. I mean, it's a year old by then, so if there's $10 left in some department, it's, so that sentence reads a little better. The question is this too much other stuff to write down? And I wrote tax recap at Linda's suggestion, the rest were,
And I think we need to make sure we're calling these things the right thing, because I'm not sure what the tax recap sheet
I brought it
looks.
for you.
Did you bring one?
Yes, I
Great.
did. I brought one of everything. So, see, this is what I call the tax recap sheet, followed by the tax recap package.
Is there one for everybody?
No, that's the whole package. That's why I'm thinking it's too much. That's just one,
That's the tax recap sheet.
yes.
Okay.
And that's maybe you just want the front sheet, but that wouldn't make much sense to people. I'm thinking this might be a little bit too,
This is getting a little too
In the
esoteric.
weeds.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
weeds.
Yeah, we don't need to
Just-
address that.
No.
Because I was thinking, yeah, that's, I think, in the weeds.
That's procedure, not policy.
But this page, which
Right.
is used, is I think is a summary page,
Right.
because it has everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
The sources and uses, is that what you're,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's not ever been in the
No, I
budget.
love that.
And I think that something like this, at least will tell you where the money's coming from, right? To fund all of this foolishness. Yes, the sources and uses of funds.
I like that, putting that in
That works.
there. Sources and uses, what shall we call it? I don't have it.
Sources and uses of funds. I think
Okay.
that's it.
Now, the third bullet on revolving, it's a long bullet, but that's exactly what we're looking for. I don't want to lose this.
Why would you want to close something at a fiscal year and then at a calendar year?
I will answer that, because the auditors requested, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. That is, I don't have the source with me, I can try and find it, but that is what you are supposed to have given to the people every year. And their
Given to what
method, this
people?
is the public in your warrant every year, or at some other time. This was what they put in the warrant 2 years ago, and it satisfied it. That's the last time that we got information on revolving accounts. That was May of 2022. At least having the, I mean, they're supposed to do it.
I don't understand, though, the
I know.
close of the previous fiscal year would be,
Right.
right now would be 6/30/23.
Right.
Why would you also then want it brought through to 12/31/23? Because that's not a
Okay.
fiscal
Didn't you put
thingy.
All
this
right.
in the warrant?
And my answer is because the audit,
Yeah, I
not
think so.
our
I think you
auditors, the UMass system wants it that way. Personally, UMAS, the accounting system for municipalities.
Got it.
But my point is that I like having that in there. It gives you an idea of at least 6 months' activity. Remember, we get no information
Okay.
year-round.
I'm okay with the,
Yeah, see?
oh,
Yeah.
I do remember that from 2 years ago. I think what we're trying to get to here is, what would we as citizens like to see in the warrant?
Well, I'd like to see that.
And, what would we like to see? I think we're all in agreement, we want to see the articles, all the articles, with the votes. We want to see the budgeted expenditures.
If they used a model, something like this for the budget, to me, that's perfect. They
Yeah,
did
which
that
is-
1 year.
yeah.
Just simple, we don't really need 5 years or.
Well, I want to get to that.
Yeah.
So, the articles, the budget with expenditures, how many years are we happy to see?
I'm happy to.
This because I can't read what's in the warrant at this point.
Right,
You know,
This was
you start
last
getting in
year's.
5 years and it's,
right. This actually gives you 3, but the way it does it, for instance, this was last year's.
yeah,
I should have written the date. So what this had was it had the 224 recommended, the
wait a
budget.
minute. So it was the budget itself, the recommended budget for the new year.
Right.
The new, okay,
And then the column to the left was the 2023 original budget, because of course 2023,
original budget, prior year.
well, current year, if you're thinking. This was last year's.
Got it, current
so-
year, dates are confusing me.
Right.
So, going from left to right,
Okay.
the current budget, the original the budget as voted. The current year budget is voted,
Yeah,
okay. So this would be the town meeting of May 2023. That's the budget we voted for this year. The next column is,
I don't know how you're doing your lefts and rights, I can't see that
well,
far.
left goes here and it goes that way.
Right, so I would start off with the previous year's actuals.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay,
All right, you're trying to get
Well,
to,
whatever this is, I think this is sufficient
yeah, for revolving, I agree.
for whatever years, because I think it's important to see what the
Prior
spending
year
limits are
actual.
and what's actually in those funds. I think
Right.
that's what most
Budget.
And it
people-
shows you at
current
least
year.
6
Yeah,
months
I
of
like that.
activity.
I like that.
And it's required, I just can't find the source of, you know, I could dig
Okay.
through all of our audits and find it, but I'd rather not.
yeah, I want that too. So we're saying that all the articles with, I'm just trying to get to,
Yep.
what would we like to see in the warrant?
That.
The articles with the notes, we would like to see the budgeted, we'd like to see the expenditures page, prior year actual, budget we're operating under now, and the proposed budget.
Correct.
We're okay with that? Okay. So, another piece would
Including
be,
the spending limits.
this is the big budget.
Oh,
The big budget.
Okay.
The spending limits would have to be in an article every year.
Yeah, they
Those
gotta
are the
be-
ones that go into an article
On the revolving funds.
on the revolving
So
fund.
we're back to the operating budget?
I'm not
I'm
sure
on-
where you
I'm on the
are.
operating budget. You're bouncing. I'm on the operating budget.
Try to
So-
keep you both happy.
Well,
Okay.
articles with the votes, then I said the budget, the big budget, the $70 million budget.
So you're looking to change what's printed in the warrant?
The warrant right now has several years' worth. Do we need several years' worth? Because you can't even read it.
Actually,
Well,
this,
if it could be formatted roughly the way that is, that would be probably a whole lot easier, but it's gonna still be
Right.
large.
Hang on.
all right.
I'm done.
So, but I'm just trying to get what information, would you want to see as a member of the public? For next town meeting, it would be actual 6/30/23, 6/30/22, 6/30/21. How many prior years would you want to see?
Like this, I think that's perfect.
Well, that's more than 3. I'm asking her how many prior years.
I would think
You
that-
start getting that,
I would think-
and you can't read it.
So how many years is this? This is only,
You're calling that more than 3?
I'm saying prior years. I said 6/30/22. Right now, we're in 6/30/20.
I am
24.
totally confused about this
So I'm saying-
discussion.
Do you want to go back 23, 22, 21?
What are we doing now?
Yeah, it's fine.
What we're doing now is they show
No, I'll tell you.
multiple years.
I've looked
Nope.
them all up.
What was in our last warrant?
And our last warrant was that. The year before that, it was 6 years. The year before that, it was something different. So it'd be nice to get some consistency. What
But
you
this
said
was
was,
last-
what
this
you,
was
what
last
you
year.
said, that there was multiple years in our warrant, that's not a true statement. It
There was
changes
at one
every year.
point, it
That's
changes
right.
every year.
That's
So I'm
right.
saying, how many years would you like to see in the warrant going back? Because we clearly need the prior year actual, the current year's budget, and the budget for next year, right?
Yep.
How many more prior years actual would you want to see?
I don't want to see any.
They're almost irrelevant because
Right.
at one point, if you add 3 staff,
Yeah, no, I
Who
think,
cares?
I
Yeah.
think that's
Right.
perfect.
I'm fine
so
with
you would
that.
do, so that, you would do that on expenditures. Okay,
Well, couldn't we do it on
Huh?
revenue as well?
let's do one piece at
All
a
right.
time. So that would be the expenditures. The revenue page, would you say the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Keep it
sure.
consistent.
Yes,
Okay,
yep.
I can only do one thing at a time.
No, I get
I'm
it.
getting too old.
Yeah, we've been talking about
The-
that then.
The revenues were actually included in the
Yep.
body of this, but we can all be changed.
We also would also we would have the capital plan. Is that what we're calling it these days? Is it the plan?
Yes,
Plan.
Which is not really a plan, it's a budget, but that's
No, it's
beside the
not.
point.
it's not even that.
No,
I'm
it's
not even sure what
it's
it
not
is.
It's
Yeah.
not a budget, it's a
It's
plan.
a wish list for this year. It'll change tomorrow.
It's a plan with estimates. It's not a budget.
And there's stuff that's
we're
not in it.
We're
I'd
not
rather not
locking
talk
in,
about
when we
it.
vote the capital plan, we're not locking in numbers.
I agree. But it's being called the capital plan, because
Which
at
is-
one point it was called something else. I'm not sure what, or there was some argument as to whether it was a plan or a budget.
Well, at one point, what they were coming up with was a capital budget,
Right.
and that wasn't what it was supposed to be. It was always supposed to be a fairly simple, these are the projects, these are the years, this is what we estimate. And at one point, the capital outlay committee seemed to think those were locked-in numbers. They're not. Because you don't get the funding until you get the article for the funding.
True.
And that capital plan is not a funding article.
That is true. But we would include the capital plan.
Right.
So revenues you'd want to see as a member of the public, prior year actuals, current year budget, budget for next year.
I would.
Sounds good? I think we got it.
What else? Some kind of report on the revolving funds.
Well, that's the one that we just looked at.
That
you have in
one
front of
worked
you.
Very
Yeah.
nicely.
Can I keep this?
Yeah,
Because this is,
yeah,
because then this would be a copy of this and saying, just like this.
yeah.
And this one has the spending limit, a balance, revenue, expense.
Got everything.
Then the balance.
That's from May of '22.
Yeah, May of 20, yeah, I understand, May of 22. Although I can tell you, I don't understand why it would make any difference.
Well, if I find a
Showing
source, I'll send it to you.
It's not the source.
Yeah.
It's not the source, it's the presentation of information. I understand that the Massachusetts would want to see from here at the 6 months, and I get that part, under the municipal finance laws and all that.
Could you do both?
But I'm
Both the
asking,
December 31st number and the.
That's what
prior-
we're
That's what
supposed to
this
do.
is.
Oh,
That's
well,
what we're
then
supposed to
there's
do
no-
by
okay,
law.
well, that's fine.
do we have to put it in the warrant?
Well,
That's
you-
the question, that's what I'm
Okay,
trying to
let
get
me-
to.
Let me answer it.
People want to know.
Let me answer
Do
it.
they?
Let
That-
me
That's
answer
what I'm
the
trying to get
question.
to.
A lot of people do.
I can't hear you. You're supposed to give that information to the public at least once a year. So
Okay.
they chose to do it in the warrant. Now, to the question of does it have to be in the warrant, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I know that once a year, the information is supposed to be distributed to the public.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
No, you haven't, because they were making a mistake for many years, and the auditors caught it.
And yet, we didn't have it in this year's warrant.
No, that's right, yeah, I know.
Well, because it said shall.
What?
What'd
Not
you say?
must, shall,
Shall.
So shall and may,
Oh.
we understand are now interchangeable.
will.
So
That's another one. Cool, all right. What else would we want to see in the warrant?
well, I have one question, which is, I'm wondering where I put in the paragraph, I put said report shall state the revenues received and expenditures made. I'm wondering if that is better to go on a list. I don't like the fact that I have a sentence that says we need things, and then I have a list in addition to that. It seems like it should all be, but it's not a big deal.
Okay. The part that I'm getting confused on is, if you say, the report shall state the revenues received, so you're talking about the last year,
Right.
which is the audit.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm getting confused on, which is, we just went through you want revenues and expenditures, but we've got the prior year actual, the budget, current year budget, and next year's budget. The audit is made public itself.
Right,
But
but
where,
we don't really
You
need,
usually see it in the select board, in
we don't need the audit.
The minutes?
Where's
not the
that?
minutes, in the package, and then you should be able to get it on the website.
But
All right.
wherever you have that 3-column sheet, wherever that wound up, the 3
Linda stole
columns,
it. Didn't-
I don't have it.
I don't have it either. We've got to have it somewhere.
the
Yeah.
three
I don't-
column sheet.
Oh, I got
here.
this.
I do have
Oh,
it,
see,
sorry.
she's blaming me.
All right. What I'm suggesting is that this is what we need, not the audit. I wouldn't want the
Okay,
audit.
well,
no,
that's
on
what,
it.
but saying revenues received, it shall, I think this is confusing,
Right, okay.
this.
So I was mimicking the language from the original, and I think that was a mistake. I think perhaps that shouldn't say that in the body of the paragraph. I think maybe the first bullet should be the proposed budget along with the revenues and and make that all one, it's on one report, make it one bullet. So we could say, the following items should be included, the proposed budget,
Which
and
is-
revenues,
Proposed budget and
expenditures.
revenues to support the budget. I mean, to me, a budget is revenues and expense.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. I'm with you on the revenue.
Revenues.
I was
and
just wondering if we
expenditures.
start putting in revenues and expenses for the prior year and the current year?
No, we just said that one does not have current year on it. And the
Well,
current year
yeah,
budget.
you're right. I don't know. But I think it belongs more appropriately on the list, not in the body of the
Yep.
paragraph.
So I think where we're getting to is on, because we didn't go through section 7.2 at all, just this one little piece.
Right.
Okay. Because we had other sections that are before that.
They were fine. And after it, there were like 6 sections in the 7th section for selectmen.
But we as a group have not discussed section 7 at all.
No, we did.
Just this one, just
No.
this little piece.
No, we went through it all, my dear. See, this was the original report, and we had 1, 7,
Is that in the
2.
minutes that we discussed section 7?
Yeah.
I must be losing it.
So,
no,
I mean,
wait
there's
a minute.
5 of them.
So this is the section on 7,
Yeah,
No.
there's too
what-
much going on here. So under section 7,
Of
we
the
would.
bylaws.
This is bylaws.
Yeah.
Not charter. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Okay.
That's
all
where I was
right,
getting-
All right, yeah.
So 7.2 that you have up here, this is the wording in the bylaws now.
Got
That's
it.
correct.
It's the
And
bylaws.
this is what you want it to be. So basically, what I'm getting out of this is you're flipping the fact that the, shall report to the annual town meeting, the financial condition, and this goes on to state that their statement of their report to the annual town meeting shall contain the warrant. Whereas
Right.
what we're saying is the warrant shall contain the following, that they shall report, and this is the information to be included in the warrant.
And actually, I changed that, and
Yeah.
this one, I put the following items will be included in the appendix of the
So-
report.
So basically, don't all you need to do is take out the last line of that first paragraph?
Which line?
The last, and the proposed new wording.
The select board shall report to the annual town meeting the financial condition of the town at the close of the fiscal year. Now, see, that the close of the fiscal year preceding such meeting.
Right.
And that would be the prior year actual.
Right. But,
I would get rid, yes,
Right.
she's saying get rid of said report,
okay,
and it probably shall say, the warrant shall include
That's the following items.
the following items, and not call it appendix, but just be the following items shall be, yes, there's that shall word again, shall be included
I
in
I
the
have,
warrant. Because if you say report, you gotta define what report.
well, I know, but the original language said, shall contain, this report shall contain the warrant for the next town meeting, so the
We're saying the warrant shall include the report.
I know you are, but you're going against the charter, you're going against the
Madam
bylaw.
Chair,
Yeah, but you would change the bylaw, that's the whole thing with the proposed new wording.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ma'am.
why are we talking about bylaws when we're really presenting just the charter?
Because we're
Actually-
supposed to review bylaws too.
Well, okay, it's getting confusing, obviously.
Well, that's why I got confused, because I'm
Right,
thinking this isn't
exactly.
in the charter, but we did say that we would review the general administration of the
No, I agree with you
bylaws.
with that, but for this purpose, for this meeting, I thought we were just doing the charter.
Yeah, that's why I'm
You know what I'm
confused,
saying?
too.
It's just getting overwhelming.
Let me ask a question. Were there any other
Because it's on here.
bylaws included in the 4 pages of this
Yeah.
report? Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? So we already went through a bunch of bylaws.
Yeah, we did last time.
No, this, 20 minutes ago we did.
Right, but we've done that, yeah, we have some bylaw
Okay,
changes.
yeah, all right, all right,
proposed.
all right.
Okay.
But we're not, again, we're not doing any of the zoning,
Right.
building commissioner stuff, we're not doing any of that. It's the
Okay.
general, that
Bylaws.
section, that general section.
Trying to
Yep.
keep the charter and the bylaws consistent, I think.
Yeah.
is what we're
Yeah,
trying
okay,
to
and that's
do.
fine,
Yeah.
all right, just,
Where are we at?
Well,
Okay.
we're at a possible proposed new wording on the financial section. Select board shall report to annual town meeting the financial condition of the town at the close of the fiscal year preceding such meeting. Are we okay with that sentence?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Could you, all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably, shouldn't have to necessarily be stated, but I'm not sure we want to lose the idea of expenditures and balances. Would you say, including, at the end of the first sentence, just say including
So,
revenues and expenditures?
said report,
The report
No.
shall, the select board shall report to the annual town meeting the financial condition of the town at the close of the fiscal year preceding such meetings, which shall include,
such meetings,
Including,
which shall or including
which shall include
yes,
expenditures and revenues.
and revenues. Revenues received and expenditures made. Do you want to say, what else do you have? The following items shall be included in the, how do you want to continue with this? Select board retirement financial conditions of the town, close of fiscal year preceding such meeting,
Following
which
items,
which shall include expenditures made and revenues received, okay?
following items shall be included in the appendix of the report, and just have your list.
Items. Do we have to say, well, shall be, do we want to say appendix? Give them a little flexibility, well, it should be in the appendix.
Shall be
Items
printed, shall be printed in the warrant,
Shall be printed
and they can put it wherever
in.
they want.
yeah. Shall be imprinted in the warrant, colon,
Yeah, never mind appendix, they can put it wherever they.
So have you eliminated the last 5 words of the paragraph which say, "and shall include the warrant for the annual town meeting"? I'm just asking.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's actually the, yes. Anyhow,
Okay?
otherwise looks, I think we got it.
And then it's followed by the revenues, the expenditures, the revolving funds, the sources and uses, the capital plan, all are supposed to be in there. Should we have a catch-all phrase that says, and anything else that so that the public can understand what they're voting on?
Well, they can add anything without us telling them they can.
Here, yep.
right, we don't want to be too specific, right?
Okay, all right.
I just want to, one thing, we haven't told them to put the warrant in it, as they call it, the actual articles.
I had that listed here. Articles with the votes. On my piece of paper that I was keeping track. The capital plan, the articles with the votes.
Oh, okay,
It's,
gotcha.
you don't have it here.
Yep, 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 yep.
Capital plan, the articles, the expenditures, the revenue, the revolving funds report, and the sources and uses of funds.
All right, if it's on the list, then that says the appendix, which we wouldn't want the articles in the appendix.
Right.
Okay,
So we're just
so it's
putting
not
that-
on the list?
Well, it didn't say appendix. We said the following items shall be printed in the warrant.
Okay,
We're leaving out appendix.
all right,
Yeah, because you wanted to be able to let them put it wherever they wanted to put it.
okay.
You can arrange it any which way.
Any which way their
Put it
little
in the
hearts
front,
desire.
put it in the back.
Whatever.
I like the front better, actually.
I just want it to be big enough so these tired eyes can read it.
What would be nice is if there was a digital copy on the website, so when we could print these things, you know, rather
As
than.
big as you want them.
What, dear?
As big as you want them.
Yeah, or, you know, it's just, it's not a scan, so it's not all fuzzy to begin with, but.
Yeah, I find that with the capital plan,
Oh,
trying
it's
to,
impossible.
with multiple years and trying to, you know, you get this piece of paper this big. Although the town administrator's office has been good, if you call them up
Do you
and
want
say.
this?
Yeah.
Can I have a large print edition,
Can I have a
please?
large print edition of this, and you just come and pick it up, and they've been very good about that, very, no, yeah, no big deal.
Just so you'll know, I did look at a whole bunch of warrants and see how they presented their other towns' financial information.
I think that's great. All right, so I'll throw 7-2 bylaws thing in here.
Okay.
Yep.
And now, are you gonna separate like the other bylaws out, or?
What do you need?
I'm trying to find an example of another bylaw in this 4-page thing. Maybe there aren't any.
Yes, there are.
How about 27116, is that one?
Okay, chapter 4. There is one that, if you get to the 4th page, it says bylaws of the town of Harwich. The
Oh, yeah,
bylaws are by
yeah,
themselves.
I gotcha. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so it rolls right into the next one.
All right.
So I move that we do not meet on Christmas Day.
I agree.
All right.
Wow.
We doing okay here?
We are.
Cool. I think we did great.
Are we done?
So, I mean, we didn't officially vote on 7-2 for some
Well,
reason.
So moved, add it to the report.
Second?
Okay.
Got that?
Vote on 7-2, yep.
Yep. Bylaw 7-2.
Who moved? You,
Sandy.
Sandy?
I
Sandy
seconded.
moved. I
Second.
need a second,
Any further
okay.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Cool. All right. Good. So I think we can get all that done, and we will have met given them some information, we'll see how far it goes. We have until the beginning of February,
Sorry.
somewhere around the beginning, first few days of February to get petition articles written and in for inclusion. And if we don't see anything coming out of the select board, we can always do citizens petition on some of these. So,
Would you like me to send you this package sometime? It's a
Yeah, it
very
would
good
be.
package.
It would be.
It
It's
didn't come,
interesting.
doesn't come from
well,
one
the
place.
thing is, I know what it looks like.
Right.
But I just didn't know
Yeah.
what you were calling it.
Yeah, no, but this was where I backed it up with the other
Yeah.
stuff, and I'll scan it and send it to you sometime.
Okay. All right, anything else to come before the board?
Next meeting is January 9th?
Correct.
January 9th.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, look at that.
Whew.
We did get
Good
done in an
job,
hour.
ladies.